Okay, so Suzanne, Mason, and Dawn, you're actually on mute.
Mhm.
There you go.
Mm.
Okay, and then Dawn, you're on mute.
There you go. Good evening,
Shit.
everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Hello.
You want us to go ahead and start, Timna?
Perfect. You have the floor. Yes.
Some are still coming in, but appreciate you, Timna, for allowing this kind of organic time that we're going to have today. I'm Suzanne Mason, and I'm actually family and aunt to Dawn Harrison, that will be my partner in just again organically having a conversation with all of you about a recent experience with AO Tune, as Timna just described. And so I want to turn it over first to Dawn, who really spearheaded this experience that we'll talk about tonight. And we're listen for things that you can pick up on for yourself and be able to share for others, with others, and duplicate and help them in their wellness journey. It basically, if I can just give a little context, this basically was a conversation from Dawn and I that started 7 or so yesterday morning. And so things really transpired quickly of what she shared with me in helping me get well. And we'll go into more detail, but Dawn is first going to describe how she uses the AO tune, part of AO scan in her daily regimen. Dawn? You're on mute. There you
Sorry, I'm trying to unmute. Hi, I'm Dawn, and I've been actually using AOScan for a year now, personally. So I usually, when new things come out, I'm like, oh, okay, move on. But something just drew me to AO Tune, and I'm like, looking through the list, I'm like, wow, you know what? Let's do some muscle testing. So I did muscle testing. My body was like, yes, you need AO2. So I'm like, I have to buy these transducers. So I didn't really do a lot of research into actually physically had the transducer um, in my hands. So I just came up with a regimen that worked for me. And every morning I just restart my phone. I don't want any interruptions in my scans. I run like a sleep scan all night. I just want a fresh new start for my um, scans daily. So every morning I restart my phone, then I go to quick scan. I clear myself. I should then I do my inner voice. So I want to see what emotions am I going through today. And I look for my lowest note. I want to see my deepest suppressed emotion. So I kind of glance that over real quick, and then I run my easy scan, which is going to give me my supplements and things to imprint into my ring that I have. And then I go to Cephi, which that's where AO Tune is. I go directly to organ, and talking to another advocate on WhatsApp, we've been in contact about Ayrton because we were both really interested, and she shared some things about going through the organs to muscle test, which I had already done. So that's what I do still daily. I go through and I muscle test all my organs. There's a whole list that's in there. I start off with stomach, and my body says yes or no. I go through the whole list all the way to the end of adrenals, and then I focus on two organs that my body said yes to. And I don't want to overwhelm my organs. These are deep, suppressed emotions from who knows when. So that's why I try to focus on only two. And I was told by a friend on WhatsApp that Square, if you select Square, because it gives you, and I'm not going to say it right, I think it's sign or SINE, it gives you triangle, it gives you square, and then it gives you, I'm going blank, I forgot. There's one more. Uh, there's one more. And so I usually just select square because I want all the emotions that's deep seated to be released. So I just use square, and then I hit emit tone. I do it for 5 minutes. And if my body is feeling like it needs some more, I'll hit another 5 minutes. Then I'm ready to start my day. I want to either I'm working out or I'm going for a walk or a drive. I listen to my harmonics from the inner voice. I like doing the inner voice one because it gives me a longer um, harmonics to listen to. And I'll let Suzanne step in real quick. And at the end, I'll let you know how AL scan has helped me personally in just different elements.
Okay, so let me interject real quick. So Dawn,
Yes. Mhm.
I'm thinking I would love to be able to show and tell what you just described.
That's,
So,
that's what I
uh,
had just pulled up too, Timna. Thank
okay.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Okay.
so if we could, Suzanne, did you remember what she had said in the order? And then maybe do you want to show and
I can
share?
say it. I
Yeah.
can just go, we can just go
I
1, 2, 3 if she clicks.
I can yeah, I got it right now. Let me share my screen. So um uh, okay,
So
internet.
what will happen is Dawn, if Suzanne knows what your regiment is,
Oh, that's perfect.
let's have her say it because then it'll stay on her screen while she's sharing and telling. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
And Timna, feel free to interject, but some of the things that Dawn was talking about in this AO tune uh, component of AO scan is here. This is in the what Timna referred to as the Cepheid area or subtle energy frequency imprinter. And here's the component AO tune being talked about tonight. And Dawn it gave me some key points about how to even start my day in scanning, turning off your phone, giving that a good reboot. Both of us, it sounds like, runs our frequencies overnight. So restart your phone, and then there's ways in which you can learn later to clear your energies and then to shield your good energies for the day. She spoke of running some inner voice scans that identify for us what are the areas of our body that we need to have balanced. There's 4 different types of analysis that inner voice gives us, 3 of the top frequencies that it identifies, and then a 4th one that is our deeper feeling that we need to balance out. And it sounds like that's what Dawn likes to focus on, is that deeper emotion that we need to really hit. And so she focuses on that emotion and one more when she comes here to the AO tune. So to try to interweave how she helped me in going through that regimen of hers. My issue when I was talking to her, already knew the deep emotion. And if you can see my screen, I'm going to choose organs. So she first asked me, well, do you use AO tunes? And I'm like, I've seen it. I don't know what a lot of that stuff is and what it means. And she says, well, go to the organ portion, which is what you see here. And you see the list of different areas of the body that this AO tune addresses and helps us to balance. But also built within that, she's telling me that deep emotion of anger that you have, you need to identify where it's sitting in your body. And so this muscle testing that she spoke of, feel free to get with someone who is versed in how to do that. Dawn was able to help me to identify, to keep muscle testing, where is that anger, that deep-seated anger you were feeling? Well, I went through all of these that you see, and it ended up being the very last area of my adrenals, which is an organ that sits atop the kidneys. is where my body indicated my deep-seated anger that I was carrying for the last 6 months in regards to a particular situation. That's where it was. I already knew my adrenals were out. My body for the last 2 weeks just wiped me out of energy, and I was literally in bed on the weekends after working. So I knew AO Tune, once I clicked the scan button, and it identified the adrenals as being that organ. So it really correlated with what I had and known. And so Dawn says, start emitting the tone from the AO tune, run that tone for 5 minutes. And this is the tuning forks that's embedded in this program. And from these tuning forks is where the frequencies come from. The four types of frequencies that are emitted that she spoke of are here. And she said, make sure you have it on square. And I'll show you just for a hot minute what that looks like and sounds like when that tone is emitted. I'm not sure if it's going to let me here to do that. And my internet is a little slow, so it's not allowing me to let you hear it. But this tuning fork just becomes live, and it begins to emit for 5 minutes these frequencies that are addressing my adrenals, that are where my deep-seated anger is. And so, Timna, I'm basically kind of wrapping up on the fact that these emotions that we feel, let me stop sharing. These emotions that we feel, I want to underscore that that is a very important part when you speak of balancing the body. Some of you that are seasoned and have been around for a while, we talk a lot about the supplements that we use and the other frequencies that we use in listening to our inner voice and so forth. But what this taught me is don't ignore the emotions that you're feeling. Don't expect to have this feeling of well-being and you've got all these negative emotions going on. Okay. You have to look at yourself holistically. We have to look at ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. That's what makes up our holistic being. And we need to address any of those imbalances. And so Dawn did very well in directing me to AO Tune. And there's areas on here that I had no idea of what they meant and so forth. And so she did her research, which is another point that important, because when she directed me to AO Tune, she opened up a whole world of healing that I can do. Timna, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to that screen for just a moment. I'm going to share another area that showed up was important for me. Hopefully this will, there we go. So all these terms I knew nothing about. That's what scared me from even coming in here. Thanks to Brenda Wilson, she touched base with me briefly on how she's benefited, and then Dawn followed up with a more deeper dive. And so I've come to appreciate that when you scan just in general, this is how what's highlighted is what the scan will highlight for you is important. I'm not familiar with this one, but this is what showed up another time yesterday when scanning, and even again today. And I told Dawn, I don't know what these terms meant. Dawn did her research by educating herself with the AO Tune video on the AO Scan channel, what do you call it, Solex channel on YouTube. So I encourage everybody to do your research first, and you'll find that you'll answer your own questions, often that, are really easy to put in the chat. But what Dawn was able to do from that video and then using an additional website, she was able to bring up, well, what does gamma mean? And just to give you an example, gamma addresses past trauma, negativity, helps delay aging, and addresses DNA and repairing our body. Schumann, the other term there, addresses energy levels, stamina, grounding, depression, stress reduction, rejuvenation, balance, inflammation. The majority of those things that I have just mentioned were all tied into what I was feeling and my anger. And so it's been phenomenal, even yet today, as well as yesterday, when I scan myself, that is the two areas that continues to come up. So lastly, the point that she was trying to help me with in this journey yesterday was a pain in my leg and hip area and down to my knee I've been having for 2 years. And so what was really eye-opening was I identified the emotion. She showed me how in the AO tune where to go to help balance that emotion using that tuning fork science that we saw. And this morning when I woke up, I had no pain in that area at all. That's been phenomenal. I have gone to physical therapy a year ago. I started again this month because of the pain, not only in my leg and hip, but also across my low back. I have had an MRI. We're trying to identify where's this pain coming from. And that's why I can't underemphasize, don't ignore your emotions. I never wanted to touch that because it's a lot of work, I thought. But this actually turned out to be much, much less work because my friend and my niece had just enough information about an aspect of AO scan that I needed to actually relieve this 2-year pain that I have been in. Now, that was just yesterday. I'm painless today. My chiropractor took about 5 minutes with me. I was out the door. He was feeling just elated. I've been telling him about the AO scan. And so I am really looking forward to seeing, okay, just how long is this going to last, right? But I know that living in the world that we're living in, it's a clearing and it's a healing and it's a journey that we'll have to revisit from time to time. So nothing is a cure forever. But that's my story. And again, I want to emphasize, utilize the expertise we have in WhatsApp. Do your own research about your own body. We don't want to use Timna just up, just use her up, eat her up completely with, this question, that question. She does have a practice. She's awesome and her heart is there for us. But we have also at our fingertips the World Wide Web, and we have all the Solex resources and information where they have just marvelously described how to utilize the AO scan. So do your research, share, because we care. And Dawn, close it out for us with what we need to know.
Well, after that, I don't know. That was really good. So what I've been using it so far, I use it twice a day too. I use it at night. I sleep wonderfully. I have the best sleep ever. And I hit scan also to scan to see what my body is asking for also. And then I do maybe 2 or 3, just depending on what my body needs. Sometimes I'm like, okay, one more. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's enough. Because sometimes the vibration will get too much and you're just like, boy, I feel weird, but it's not a bad weird. Like I said, I'll end up going to sleep. I sleep great. I've used it for back pain. I've had lower back pain. I've used it for my granddaughter and myself for just out of runny nose, nothing else, no other symptoms, no fever, no nothing. And they have one in there under Solveggio for reduced pain, alleviate stress. So I use that for my back. There's in the auto clearing section, you can also use for pain, which is for muscle tension, spasm, body tissue. That's under the 256 megahertz uh, little mind section. And there's an RNA, which is Uracil, which was for viruses, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting sick. So I used it, and runny nose, all better. Could be allergies, not sure, but better to be safe for something to get worse. Go ahead and use it. So sound therapy is very powerful, and when you put it directly into the body by using the transducers, that's why I wanted to buy them. Is it just goes directly in, penetrates to the bone. So even if you do not have the transducers, you can use your phone. You can set your phone, oh, my knee hurts. You can set that right on your phone, on your head if you have a migraine. Of course, the transducers are made for that, but in the meantime, use your phone just to get the benefits. So I love it.
Anybody have any questions in regards to or your own experiences of using the AO tone, or any more detailed questions that we might be able to help you understand? I know Timna some point explain a little bit more about what those transducers are that Dawn was talking about, and the benefit of because I just purchased mine. See, Dawn sold me on the transducers. So but any other thoughts or questions? Lisa, please share.
So I'm driving, that's why I don't have my camera on, but I just wanted to share quickly my experience with pain management using the AO scan. I used to take a lot of medicine every day, to manage my pain. And since I started consistently using the AO scan, I have not taken any pain medicine. So I haven't taken any pain medicine now almost 3 months, none. Okay, I went to the doctor back in March, and I was telling Danielle, because she's the one that introduced me to the AO scan. I was telling her I went to the doctor, and so I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm always, they're always checking me because, just for different areas, and they found polyp on my cervix, and so I said, okay, so they want me to do a follow up, with the specialist. And so in between time, I couldn't get in for that appointment until this past Friday. So in between time, I have been consistently running that AO scan for polyps. I use it for acute pain. I use it for joint pain. I have a whole pain, I call it my frequency prescription that I wrote for myself on there and loaded it up. And do you know that they could not find that polyp? They did three separate. She says, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but they 3 times, and they could not find it." So she said she couldn't understand. I explained that I had been using frequency therapy, and some doctors, embrace and want to learn about frequency, and others are very dismissive. This doctor was dismissive, but I really didn't care because I know that it works. I've tested it on so many different things. I watched my mother suffer with sciatic. She signed up. She's been using the AO scan. She just told me on Monday. She said, Lisa, I haven't had to take any medicine, none. And when I tell you her sciatic pain, she's in her 70s. Her sciatic pain was horrible. I would see her, hunched over and struggling to walk, and so and having to take breaks, not being able to walk. So I don't want to ramble. I'm just so excited that this, and I'm not, was going to say simple technology, hi, sweetie. It's not so simple in the sense that so much research has gone into this, but just the fact that and the amount that I know is very little. The short time that I've been on this call today, I've learned so much, and that happens every single time that I get the time to hop on. I always learn something new. but just a little bit that I know has been a game changer for me. And I just love the fact that my kidneys are getting a break and my liver from all of the pain medicine that I was taking, because I was taking a lot. And I shared this with Timna before. I was supposed to share my story on a Tuesday night thing, but anyway, I'm just saying I'm just so overwhelmed. And the fact that they could not find those polyps, that is, I was just grinning. I was like, okay, you don't believe me, but I know it's that doggone AO scan because I consistently run it. It's loaded in my frequency prescription. I ran it constantly, and they could not find it. And so I just want to share that with you guys. This thing works, and if you give it a chance, you'll be able to see for yourself. And that's basically what I've been sharing with people. You just got to try it. I can talk all day, but you personally have to try it and experience it for yourself.
Thank you, Lisa, for that. That's awesome.
Actually, I have a quick question for you, Lisa. You mentioned that you constantly did it. So can you be more specific as to how long did you broadcast your frequencies? So the protocol that you put together, the frequency playlist, how long did you do it? Did you do it for 8 hours a day, 24 hours a day?
On average, about 8 hours, because what I would do is I'd set it up. And so I run mine at night. So it runs at night while I'm sleeping, so that because the mornings was the hardest for me. I would be in so much pain. I would literally, I started my day in tears. That's how much pain I would be in. I couldn't move. It would take me a long time to get going in the morning. So now when I get up in the morning, yes, I'm stiff, but I'm not in that pain where I'm ready to cry. I'm able to move faster, and I'm just not moving with that pain. So just imagine, like my right shoulder, I could not move. So for me to move the arm, I have to take my left hand and physically lift my arm. And I would do that throughout the day because that's how much pain I was in, and that's how much weakness I had, and I had no muscle tone, could barely lift the arm. I had a tear in my wrist that I had surgery on through COVID, and I've been a lash tech for years. So that constant motion of doing the lashes aggravated the injury, and it also interfered with the healing of a full healing after the surgery. So between that, the back pain and other stuff that I've been dealing with, after having multiple epidurals and multiple children, and then I had no pain tolerance. I've never had good pain tolerance. So I just appreciate being able to get up in the morning and move. I appreciate, now I feel like I'm gonna cry, but it's nice to get up in the morning and not be in tears every morning, because that's how I started my day. And I don't start my day that way anymore.
Well, we're all very, very happy for you. Very happy. Thank you for sharing your story too, Lisa. Appreciate you. And then your story will inspire others, and that's what it's all about, right? So we be well, stay well, and share with others. And I think, Brenda, you had your hand up.
Yes, I too am using the AL toner and or tuner, but I got it from apps. I just appreciate this Zoom group plus what your WhatsApp group, because I learned so much from it, and the various ones that are on it. And one person mentioned about it, and I wondered. I said, "Oh, okay," but she mentioned that she can only take 2 of them at a time, 2 of the muscle toners. I had a question about that because I was using it and I didn't know anything about how to test my muscles. And I wanted to see if anyone knew how to do that. Also, because I could do all of those different things on there and it didn't seem to bother me. And I says, well, am I harming myself? So I better learn more about how to test my muscles too. So I was wondering, could you, Timna, tell us about that, how that's done?
Yeah, so actually muscle testing, That's going to be a class that I'm teaching next month. So stay tuned because that's a fundamental. Basically, you're doing, there's a couple ways of doing it. So it'll take a bit more time before wait, one second. Someone's trying to come in. Oh, it's done. That's going to take more time than what we have tonight. Okay, to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered, I just thought it may be somewhere in the app or somewhere I missed
Yeah.
in this, so.
So muscle response testing, and actually you could Google. There's a lot of people that have really good YouTube videos, right? You don't necessarily have to wait. Yeah, you don't have to wait for me, but it's a way to basically it's manual biofeedback. That's exactly
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, being very in
Okay.
tune with your body, and there's different techniques that you can do. Some people use a finger method this way, this way. Some people use pendulum. Some people use their own body. It's just, but that's what it is. It's literally manual biofeedback.
Okay, all right, I was just wondering that, but I've learned so much from these sessions. I really appreciate you, Timna.
Oh,
And
no, all
everybody
of
else.
us. You,
Yeah,
this
and
is, it's
everybody
continuous
that
learning.
contributes, yeah.
All
It's
of
really
us, yeah,
informative, really is.
good,
And,
there you go.
Everybody.
Thank you for sharing. And then there's another point I wanted to share with all of you. Remember, just even as a head start, with your app, any one of these modules, you can always go up to the upper right-hand corner and click on that question mark, right? That's the help. And it shares with you the instructions. If you go to AO Tune and you click on the question mark, it'll share with you the instructions. Okay. So even if you don't know anything about this particular module, at least following the instructions, and you can play around with it, see what it does for you, even just from doing that, and then you can do deeper dives with all the different things that you learn. And the Solux does have a video about it as well. But it's a fascinating part of our AO scanner. I'm jumping. Without the transducer, the AO transducers, right? The electronic tuning forks is basically what they are. However, they do have them. If you go to, oh, I'm thinking I'm in my
All products will show it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm thinking I was in the shop.
Uh-huh. You may
There we
be
go.
able to type it right up in this. There we go. Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Suzanne. Okay, so you can take a look at the AO tune transducer. So what it is basically is these are negative ion, as you can see, transducers. They are basically like an electronic tuning fork. So the beautiful thing about them is usually they use manual tuning forks. I have actually a couple here in my office. So the idea behind tuning forks, and this is what this is, just literally the science of tuning forks, is you hit the tuning fork and the frequency of the tuning fork, when you rest it on the area, the problematic area, it sends that frequency medicine directly to the area, and that will help to release any kind of negative frequencies, right? That are like pain frequencies and things like that to help balance the area. So you have to keep hitting the tuning fork and placing it. And then when the sound goes away, you hit it again. When the sound frequency goes away, you hit it again. And it's also heavy. There's a weight to it. Now, with the AO technology, you have all the tuning forks, all those frequencies in your scanner. That's the module of AO Tune. Okay. And with the transducers, these are generating the sound of the tune of the sound frequency constantly. And so when you place the AO tune transducer on the problematic area, those frequencies are going to that area constantly. You don't have to keep on hitting it and tapping and hitting and tap. You don't have to do that anymore. And they're this big. Okay. And the price point is loyalty is $70 and they're yours. Okay. So once again, another part of the module, so wonderful. And my goodness, your story, Suzanne, and your story, Dawn, has prompted even me to go ahead and use it more frequently. Get it frequently, frequency, I'm just saying. No pun intended, pun intended. Okay, so we appreciate you both for sharing. That's exciting. I'm happy for you, Suzanne. Dawn, thank you so much for doing the deep dive and the research. It motivated you to share with all of us tonight. So excited. And yeah, go ahead, Suzanne.
Just Dawn requesting of you, if you would please put your definitions as you described or we described in the WhatsApp chat, so people can see what your research looked like. Dawn is very organized and detailed. I think everyone would appreciate seeing her work, because that's what, she defined everything I needed to know and why I was going where I was going in the AO Tune area. So if you could do that, and then the AO Tune video, if you could put that in there in WhatsApp, and then it's readily there and available for people to learn more.
That would be great. What
Is
do you
that
think,
okay?
Dawn? Would you mind?
I do